Hey everyone, welcome to this week's update of Premier Properties, and thank God there's some sunshine. It's just been awful weather, but I'm doing this a little bit early. I do actually have my birthday party tonight anyway, so actually filming this on a Saturday afternoon. So thank me for that. But in this week's update, I again am just going to go through what's on the market because I can't update everyone with what's off the market because it would just take me too long. So I'm going to start with Melbourne in that with what I've got that's new. I have a new property coming up in the inner north of Melbourne. It's literally about 5K from the CBD. This house itself is excellent. Look, you're probably picking it up for 1.2 to 1.25 million. It's right next to Lygon Street. Very good in that. 3 bedroom, great interior. Look, I almost couldn't believe the yield you'd get for it, but I did my research on it. I talked to a few property managers, and you'll probably get $950 to $1,000 a week rent on it. So for something above like $1.2 million in Melbourne, that's extremely rare. So that's the first one I've got. Really good for someone with a bit of a better budget and just wants a simple buy and hold long term. Really, really good for that. You're getting like 4% yield as well. So um, yeah, so that's really, really good numbers behind that one. To keep it with Melbourne, I also do have another one coming up in Melbourne's inner west, close to Kingsville. This is an outstanding property. You pick it up for the low 1 millions, I think. Brick veneer and tile home. I reckon you'll get 750 to 800 a week rent for this as well. This is one of the properties where I like to tell people that if you've got the money, you simply want to buy and hold long term, and you know it's going to work long term and make money, and you can also get a good tenant. This is sort of one for that because it's in one of the best streets of the suburb as well. It's got all the right features. It actually has off street parking too, so it's got every feature to it that people would want to rent. In other words, so that's another reason why you'd want to actually lease the property itself. So really good in that. Just to recap over what else I also have a one in Cremorne too that you'll pick up for sort of the probably 1.15 million or so, maybe to 1.2. 850 of probably a week rent for that. Right next to the MCG as well, very, very good. Cremorne is the second highest median income in terms of weekly household income in all of Melbourne. So and it's second only to Kooyong, which is literally straight across the Yarra. So really good one in that. Good buy and hold as well. I do have a dual income one actually out in the inner east as well in Melbourne. You're probably picking this up for 1.3 to 1.35, but you'll get probably 1,000 to 1,100 at least a week rent for that. It's a house and kind of a granny flat, a 3 and 2 better. You could actually also, pardon me, if really required, you could probably bulldoze it and actually put a duplex or possibly townhouses, subject to obviously council approval, and if your planner actually had the right findings, or not findings, but the actual structure to do that in. That's another one. Another one I have, again, I've mentioned this before. I do have one close to St Kilda. Great location, tiny weatherboard cottage, but it's on its own block. It's on a corner block too. 750 to 800 a week rent. Low, probably 1 million's purchase. Rare as hen's teeth, and it's one where if you had a big borrowing power, especially, you could pretty much buy it and go and probably refi to another lender and pull out equity on that. I think most lenders would probably value it at 1.2 mil quite easily just because of the location it's in. So that's another one there as well that I've got in Melbourne. Just to cap off, I do have a few others. I still do have another one in Melbourne's inner north that is a triple income property. You'll probably get, $1,300 to $1,400 a week rent. You'll probably pick it up for 1.3 to 1.4 million. So that's above 5% yield in Melbourne. In saying that as well, it's actually on a very large block. It's on a 600 meters squared. It's very close to Essendon, to give you an idea. So that's another really good one. Good for one of someone who wants to hold something sort of longer term, not cost them too much money, but then have the option to develop down the line, because this is one you could definitely do it on. So that's another really good option. Finally, just to close out, I still do have one sort of towards Williamstown that needs probably 30K worth of work done to it. You'll probably pick this up, for the mid 1 millions, maybe mid 1 to 1.1 million, so maybe 1,050,000 to 1.1 million. I think you'd pick it up for. Put 30K in it, you get probably 800 to 850 a week rent, and it would be valued, I'd estimate, something around the 1.4 to 1.5 mark. So, good deal in that too. Final one is for people with a little bit lower budgets. I do have an off-market one in Maidstone, tiny little block, 2 bedroom sort of weatherboard cottage, immaculately maintained, good to rent as is. You'll probably pick it up for 800 grand, which is so cheap because this one is actually right in the corner of West Footscray and Footscray and Maidstone. So you're basically getting Maidstone prices for West Footscray / Footscray. It's very close to the hospital precinct there. So that's a really good one for someone with a lower budget. That's a really, really good option there. Um, in saying that. So that's pretty much my full update of Melbourne. There's a lot of options there at the moment, which is good. And I'm going to get now into my Sydney update. So for Sydney, I've got one in, believe it or not, this is so rare it's not even funny. It's actually in Sydney's eastern suburbs, and it's an original duplex. It's very close to Randwick and it's not far from Coogee Beach either. It's actually an original duplex, so it's actually 2 separate floors. You could call it a unit each or something like that. On a fairly main decent block there. It's in quite an expensive pocket of a suburb as well. So that's really good. Look, you are going to have a 3 to probably 3.3 or $3.4 million budget for this, but you'll get somewhere between 22 and 2,500 a week rent, depending on how you lease it and what you do with it and all that kind of thing too. So that's the other thing just to consider, because it is a really good opportunity for someone like that. Look, that's yielding literally above 4% in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Like, I can't tell you how rare that is. Like, you might find one or two of them in an entire year that's an actually detached house on an original lot. So you'll get both in this property, both the cash flow and capital growth still, because you're buying it around the median of the suburb. So that's my first Sydney one. Very, very rare to find something like that in Sydney. So just keep that in mind. The next one I've got is also in a wealthier area of Sydney. So it's actually in Sydney's northern beaches. It's also similar to that. So it's 2 separate residences on one title. For this, it's probably a $3 to $3.1 million purchase. I mean, you'll get probably 2,400 a week rent for this, maybe 2,500, pardon me, as well. Rare as hen's teeth. This is actually under the suburb median in Northern Beaches, very close to Manly. Um, and I mean, if I had the money, I'd probably buy it myself because it's such a good deal in saying that. So that's my other one in the Northern Beaches. Is good for someone with about a $3 million budget. You're not going to go wrong in saying that. And finally, the last one I want to mention in Sydney is I still do have one in Sydney's inner west. It's 2 terraces attached together and a corner block, and it's 4 separate 1 bedroom units there as well. Now, look, you probably have to spend to be transparent with you. Like, you can rent it out as is, don't get me wrong, but if you wanted to look nice, I'd spend probably 40 or 50K on it. If you did it yourself, you could probably do it for 20 if you were handy. Probably $2 million purchase price, but I mean, if you did let it as is, you get 2,000 a week. If you put some work in it, you might even get 2,200 to 2,400 if you do it nicely and correctly. I mean, this is walking distance to Newtown, to give you an idea. Walking distance to Enmore. Really, really good location. Good for someone with a $2 million budget wanting to invest in Sydney, because it's only like 5 or 6K from the CBD. I can't tell you how rare it is to even pick up a house, let alone a residence with 4 separate dwellings on it in Sydney for that kind of price. But anyway, that's my Sydney update for everyone. Just to close this out as well, I've got a few in some other locations too. So I'll get into one just for everyone to know in Brisbane. So I've actually got this one in Brisbane. It's 4 separate units. It's about 3 to 3.5K from the CBD. It's brick, veneer and tile on a block of close to 600 meters squared, and you'll pick it up for probably 1.65 to 1.7 million. Mind you, in saying that, like, you'll pick it up for that, but it's already rented for 1,600 a week, and it's in a good capital growth location. So this property here, it's actually a block of units technically. I mean, that's above 5% yield within literally a 5K ring of Brisbane CBD. Very good. It's flood free as well. It's way too high up. Very close to Brisbane Grammar. Very close to Brisbane Girls Grammar. Close to QUT. Close to, pretty much everything you need there. Close to the Hurston Medical Precinct as well. So that's my Brisbane update. Probably need 1.65 to 1.7 million to pick it up, to be transparent. I mean, you also, for someone who's wanting to buy that, you want to have your finances ready because not all lenders will do for like dwellings on a title, just to keep people in mind of that. Let's get into just Geelong. I do still have two available in Geelong. So the first one actually I do have is in the suburb of Geelong. It's actually a three better, picking up for probably the late sevens, which is really good for especially for that area of Geelong. It actually has an off street park. It's a small lot, but it's walkable. Very well located though. You'll probably get, I reckon 550 to 600 a week rent for that easy because of the location. It's an excellent location in saying that, and I can't see how you're going to lose money on that. So good for someone with a bit of a lower budget in saying that. That's one, pardon me, I have in Geelong. I do even have one, believe it or not, that you might even pick up for a flat 700 or maybe even a little bit less. This is a brick veneer and tile home. It's only a two better at the moment, and it is a corner block. It's a smaller block, but it's immaculately maintained. You'll probably get mid fives for rent, maybe 530 to 560 a week rent, something like that for it. Very good location, but you could actually probably turn it into a three better because the living space is absolutely massive. But you could probably just leave it as it is. And I mean, to pick something up, this is within like 2K of Geelong CBD for like 700 grand. It's an unbelievably good deal. So that's the other one I have available at the moment in Geelong. Let's just close out with my final area that I just want to mention. And the last area I've got is Newcastle. So a lot of properties have actually turned over in Newcastle recently, to give you an idea. And it's not only turned over, but it's the prices they're actually going for as well. So look, I was picking up properties, I kid you not, in the best pockets and streets of Mayfield for, no kidding, like mid 800s to late 800s last year. I've just recently seen properties sell there for, I kid you not, $1.2 million, $1,095,000, prices like this. So it's like 150, 200 grand above literally what I was paying for it, sometimes even more for almost a very similar kind of dwelling as well. So the market is already like I haven't got my property clock update coming till the September quarter, but it is going to be past the 100%. I'm telling you right now. So for those sitting on the fence looking at Newcastle, you need to pull the trigger now. It's not a good time to wait and just watch what happens because it's already moving. But the two I've got in Newcastle that are worth buying is one I've actually got in the northern pocket of Newcastle, believe it or not. And I think you can pick it up for under 900, believe it or not. Very good deal. You probably get 750 to 800 a week rent for it easily, I'd say. Look, if you want to be really conservative, you get 700 on week one, but if you pushed it, you get 750 easy, maybe more, because I mean, I've got clients who are getting 800 for similar dwellings in that area. But this house itself is in the right area, quiet street. I mean, 3 bed, 1 bath. It has a car off-street parking as well. So for Newcastle and those areas, it's actually quite rare. So it's good for that. The final one I've got, you'll probably pick it up around 900 as well, but it's 2 better, smaller lot, but it's very close to Newcastle Interchange. So it's right within basically that Wickham master plan for people that know Newcastle well. It's right within that actual precinct. So the gross realisation value of the land will be incredible for years to come. Now, this will rent for 650 to 700 easy, and it's probably one you can land bank and probably do quite a bit of, work. You could probably build multiple stories here if you wanted to in the future. Because of the location it's in. It's an excellent location. You can literally walk to the Newcastle station, which is called Newcastle Interchange there. It's only a couple 100 metres away, so it's a very good deal in that. But look, that's my update for this week's Premier Properties. Again, everyone, the market is already moving. I can't tell people that anymore because it's just the truth and it just keeps happening. But look, for those who are really serious about getting in the market, I strongly suggest you reach out via www.compoundinvest.com.au/inquire. What happens here is you book a time with me, and we have a short half an hour phone call where we can go through what you want to achieve. I'll give you some options, and then we formulate a strategy for there. And it's as simple as that. And look, for even people who aren't serious, let's say right now, or just sitting on the fence, you might be serious in 3 to 6 months, or you might just not know what to do. I still suggest you reach out because getting the strategy right is more important than the purchase itself. And the reason for that is because if you stuff up the strategy, you're going to stuff up the purchase. So make sure you get the strategy correct. Again, everyone who wants to reach out, www.compoundinvest.com.au. Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and have a great week ahead. Cheers. Accessing Premier Properties is simple.
First of all, go to the main page at www.compoundinvest.com.au. Once you're on this page, go to the menu item, What We Do, and you'll see a link to Premier Properties. Click the link, and from there it will ask you basically to fill in your details and sign up. So you need to put your name, phone number, and email address. Once you have done that, click Submit. Go back out of the website and then go back into Premier Properties. You will therefore then have access to Premier Properties here, by which you can see what's available, the rough capital growth and the rough rental yield of each property. If you're interested in these properties, therefore click Action where it says View More. Once you then click this, it'll show you basically the metrics. Now, to get full access to this, you will need to reach out via Inquire. From there, you'll be sent a agency agreement by which we can get access to the property and ideally close the deal for you. Please reach out if any of these properties are of interest to you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks.